Welcome to Semiconductor News Decoded. I'm Ty, with 31 years inside the semiconductor industry, bringing you the real view from the factory floor. Today's topic, TSMC's Kumamoto factory, JASM, has turned profitable ahead of schedule. As always, I'll explain everything in the most simplified way possible. Even a middle schooler should be able to follow along. If you're a specialist watching, some parts may feel oversimplified, but I'd like to prioritize giving everyone the big picture first. Think of it as a renowned craftsperson from far away opening a local workshop and turning a profit faster than anyone expected. So sit back and enjoy. Here's today's news in one sentence. A world-class team of craftspeople who came from far away opened a workshop in a regional city and turned a profit much faster than expected. A world-class team from Taiwan set up a major facility in Kumamoto, a regional Japanese city. It was supposed to be a long-term investment with initial losses baked in, but news has emerged that they swung into the black surprisingly quickly. Why did they turn profitable so fast? Because they already had major regular customers nearby. Right next to the workshop, there were large food manufacturers and auto parts makers who needed large quantities of materials every month. No long-distance shipping costs and large, stable orders arriving from close by, that drove high utilization from the start. And the regular customers don't need cutting-edge haute cuisine. They need reliable daily staples, products that can be manufactured consistently in large volumes. Not the latest trend in fine dining, but the kind of dependable set meal menu that people want every day. That steady demand for reliable staples is what's keeping the Kumamoto workshop running at full capacity. There's another important element. The workshop managed to build a strong local network. Nearby, there were large processors that needed daily ingredient deliveries, and long-established specialty suppliers of particular ingredients who could all work together and pass business to each other. An ecosystem where being locally embedded beats being a distant factory. That's what's starting to take shape. The key insight from this analogy, for a craftsperson from far away to put down roots locally, two things matter most: stable, large-scale customers nearby and the ability to integrate into the local network. JSM's early profitability is precisely the result of both conditions being met. From here, let me walk you through what this actually looks like in the real semiconductor industry. This is where the real analysis begins. Today's news is that JASM, Japan Advanced Semiconductor Manufacturing, the joint venture TSMC established in Kikuyo, Kumamoto Prefecture, Japan, achieved its first quarterly profit in the January to March 2026 quarter. The profit figure reported was approximately 47 to 48 billion yen. The single biggest reason JASM turned profitable was its utilization rate. What JASM manufactures are products built on mature processes, 22 nanometer and 28 nanometer, as well as 12 nanometer and 16 nanometer nodes. These are not the most advanced 2 nanometer or 3 nanometer nodes, but demand for these mature process products has been remarkably stable. Automotive semiconductor demand in particular has been a major pillar of support. As electric vehicles and advanced driver assistance systems proliferate, the number of semiconductors per vehicle has surged. And for automotive applications, what matters most is not the most advanced node, but rather a mature process that can supply reliably at scale over the long term. On that dimension, JASM's product lineup is a strong fit. JSM's shareholder structure has also contributed to driving utilization. Beyond TSMC itself, Sony Semiconductor Solutions and Denso are both investors in JSM. Sony is the world's leading image sensor maker, and Denso is the largest automotive component supplier in the Toyota Group. Both companies function as stable demand anchors, and that's what underpins JSM's utilization rate. Geographic proximity is another significant advantage. Sony's Kumamoto factory is located in the same town as JASM, Kikuyo. In semiconductor manufacturing, Close collaboration between customer engineers and the production floor is critical for improving yield and quality. Physical closeness makes that collaboration seamless, a fundamentally different relationship from what you get when Japanese companies order from TSMC in Taiwan. The broader industry context is also important. In semiconductor markets, leading-edge AI chips tend to get all the attention. But in terms of actual market volume, mature process demand remains enormous. Smartphones, consumer electronics, industrial equipment, automotive, virtually every product uses mature process semiconductors. JASM is squarely positioned in that space. That said, JASM's competitive environment needs to be acknowledged. Chinese semiconductor companies are also aggressively expanding production capacity in the same mature process nodes. On cost, Chinese players are highly competitive, and price pressure could intensify. For JASM, the path forward lies in differentiating on quality, supply stability, and the reliability premium of Japanese manufacturing. JSM's second fab, targeting 3-nanometer processes, is also moving forward. The second fab represents a fundamentally different challenge from the first. At 3-nanometer, both the technical difficulty and the scale of investment are in an entirely different category. The customer profile also shifts toward AI products and higher performance smartphone chips. My personal view on JASM's first fab turning profitable, I think it's genuinely good news. To be honest, I had been concerned that even with massive government subsidies, utilization might struggle and losses could drag on. Based on my time in the industry, I have to say, I didn't expect the combination of stable anchor customers, Sony and Denso, and local geographic advantage to work this effectively, this quickly. It's a validation of the strength of Japan's manufacturing ecosystem. The second fab at 3-nanometer is a very different story, however. 3-nanometer is a leading-edge process that even TSMC's own core operations find extremely difficult to manage from a yield perspective. Pulling that off in Kumamoto will raise challenges in a completely different league. Talent recruitment and development, equipment maker support structures, everything. The real question is whether a sustainable business model can be built without over-relying on government subsidies. Looking further out, the broader context of Japan's semiconductor industry revival is important. JASM's success is generating positive spillover effects for Japan's equipment, materials, and chemicals industries. The Kumamoto region and Kyushu more broadly are being discussed again as a Silicon Island. But JASM alone is not the story. Whether the surrounding ecosystem of suppliers and support industries can grow alongside it is the real test of Japan's semiconductor revival. Let me summarize the key points. First, JASM achieved its first quarterly profit in the January to March 2026 quarter, recording approximately 47 to 48 billion yen. Second, the primary driver is the stable demand and high utilization in mature process nodes, 22-28 nanometers and 12-16 nanometers, for automotive and industrial applications. The presence of Sony and Denso as nearby large-volume customers has played a decisive role. My conclusion: JASM's first fab profitability is, I believe, a historically significant moment. It marks the point at which a semiconductor manufacturing presence took root in Japan. But the real test is still ahead. The ramp-up of the second fab at 3 nanometers and the maturation of Japan's broader semiconductor ecosystem. Whether those can be achieved will determine Japan's industrial competitiveness a decade from now. Also inseparable from this story is Rapidus, which is pursuing domestic production of leading-edge 2-nanometer chips. JASM and Rapidus are not simply rivals. In terms of building advanced semiconductor manufacturing capability in Japan, they're complementary. But in the competition for customers, talent, and government money, they are in direct competition. I'll be watching both companies closely. That's all for today. I'll keep bringing you semiconductor news and analysis. So if you found this useful, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. This has been Ty on Semiconductor News Decoded.